Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sania Adrian and I am an ABA student of Abadian Cipta Cendekia Bandarang. In this video, I would like to deliver a speech about Indonesian new normal and my thoughts why everyone acted as if the pandemic is over. In economics, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a sharp economic downturn globally, as indicated by the deeper government deficits, slower growth, and higher unemployment. Even though the coronavirus will likely be carried over to the second half of 2020, many governments have begun to ease social restriction with an elaborate set of health protocols. The real sector's economy might begin to crawl from the darkness to revive, but will this be so-called new normal? There is always a dilemma in public policy choices. Similarly, the economics is always facing trades-off. There is no economic growth without inflation, just as there is no gain without risk. The government and authorities ought to be responsible and proportional. The important point is to strike the balance between risk and opportunity. With the highest number of infection and largest death toll in Southeast Asia, the Indonesian government should be careful in handling the COVID-19 pandemic. Since the new normal began several months ago, people have otherwise eased restriction or neglected the health protocol. Recently, when I went out for the first time after 3 months of self-seclusion, I wonder how people could behave like this amidst a pandemic. I saw people in Jakarta eating out without even practicing social distancing. A lot of people roaming without face masks in public spaces, children playing on street even in red zones, and my social media account was overwhelmed by other people's update on gathering and social events. Even many prominent Indonesian figures ignore health protocols in the wake of the new normal. For example, the media reported that Corruption Eradicates Commission Chief Firly Bahuri did not wear masks in public. Jakarta government Anies Baswedan shook hands with people during the Jakarta anniversary celebration on June 22nd. Although such acts simple or less important, they show that the much-needed behavior change to slow the spread of the virus remain challenging. After about 4 months since Indonesia announced the first COVID-19 infection, the severity of the pandemic has worsened, with around 100 people infected on a daily basis. Despite the fact that Indonesia topped the numbers of the infection and death rates in Southeast Asia, the government and the people seems to choose the relatively soft approaching the fight against the pandemic. This pandemic shows the predictably irrational we are as humans. Despite the upward infection curves, we have already eased the restriction required to contain virus transmission to allow the economic and social life to resume. Lockdown, social and physical distancing have been hard to bear for most of us. The more restrictive the government measures, the more people want to break the rules. The high compliance needed to beat the pandemic is difficult to achieve. With so much confusion about what is right to do and what is not, we follow people's example. Seeing our friends and influencers on social media hold birthday parties, religious gatherings, and visiting shopping malls with their kids may be tempted to follow suit. The government's new normal campaign is easier said than done. Many have realized there is nothing new about new normal, as they have been social distancing, wearing masks, and washing hands frequently since the beginning of the pandemic. As we may notice, the new normal is a difficult trade-off between health and economy. We need to get back to work, spur the economy while maintaining our own health. Hence, do not let this new normal framework turn into normalization. We need to change our habits and the way we coexist. The question is, how do we comply with set of new rules? I want all of us to think deep inside our heart. Imagine What would happen if in the future if we continue to neglect these normal policies? In the end, we must assess our own behavior to determine whether it is rationally justified or just emotionally driven. How far, how long, and how fast the spread of coronavirus is crucially depends on our own behavior. Hence, the responsibility it is in our own hand to ensure this will pass. Thank you so much for listening to my speech. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.